Negotiators have met in Paris to discuss a deal between Israel and Hamas that could see hostages released and an extended ceasefire in the Gaza Strip. Protesters in Israel have been ramping up the pressure on the government to bring home the hostages. Israeli officials described the talks as constructive, but the office of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says there are significant gaps between the two sides and that discussions will continue this week. Officials from Egypt, Qatar, and Israel are taking part in the U.S.-led talks. And let's get more on that. We are joined by Defense and Foreign Affairs analyst Navaf bin Mubarak al-Tahani. He was director as the Qatari Director of Defense Intelligence Operations and as the defense attaché to the United States. He joins us now from Doha. Thank you so much for joining us on the program. When you see the current, where things currently stand, how optimistic are you about these talks in Paris?
Well, I'm quite optimistic that any progress towards negotiation would be successful. However, all parties involved have to commit to the process. It's a hard process, it's a long process, but commitment to that process is vital for it to succeed.
And we know that the CIA chief, William Burns, met with his Israeli and his Egyptian counterparts, as well as Qatar's prime minister, and they're supposed to meet again this week. Tell us a little bit more about the mix of participants and what might be going on behind closed doors.
Well, obviously, from a Qatari perspective, they've made it very clear that they play it very close to the vest. Secrecy is important in any negotiation for success. However, if we see past negotiations, even in this conflict, as a guide, it usually means that it starts off with laying ground rules, understanding of the parameters of negotiation, moving forward to setting reasonable goals, and then executing that. And while that is being executed, as in the last round of negotiations, the Qatari Foreign Ministry had an ops center set up to make sure that if there's any snag or issue in implementing negotiated agreements, that it would be resolved in real time. I think that would usually be the same modus operandi moving forward. Now, details about the negotiation obviously isn't clear right now, but hopefully, if past results are any proof of future hopes, then we're very hopeful.
What do you see as the main hurdles now, especially, given the role that Qatar has played in facilitating the Israel-Gaza peace talks, given its channel of communications with Hamas?
Well, the main hurdle, as I said, is commitment. Now, we've seen some issues internally in Israel. The neoconservative government of Netanyahu has been, on one side, asking for Qatar's help and wanting it and praising it, and on the other side, criticizing. And that is not helpful moving forward. Now, the latest statement, I would say less than 12 hours ago, by the Prime Minister. How about on the part of
Hamas's commitment?
Well, the proof is in the pudding. Qatar has proven that it is able to negotiate release of hostages. This is not pie in the sky or imaginary or theoretical issue. This has seen actual results. It's only replicating those successes that we're talking about right now. And I think if everyone's committed, and again, the Prime Minister of Israel's office just less than 12 hours ago said that it is quote unquote constructive as it's going forward, I think that makes us hopeful. But steadfastness and commitment by the parties. The negotiators are only the negotiators. The parties, whether Israel or Hamas, have to be steadfast in their commitments. And that only will guarantee a successful negotiation.
Thank you so much for your time. Navaf al-Tahani, Defense and Foreign Affairs Analyst and former Qatari Director of Defense Intelligence Operations. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Sarah.